Here, there's a seat to be had. Please go ahead and take it. And I'll apologize in advance. This beautiful day, it's kind of windy, so we're hopefully going to keep our renderings on the easel there. Yeah. All right, so good afternoon, everyone. I'm Gina Ford, Director of Communications for County Executive Brooks. It's certainly a beautiful and historic day here in Prince George's County, and so to discuss some of our historic accomplishments together, you will hear from County Executive Angela Brooks, followed by Governor Hogan, after which we'll hear from Senate President Pro Tem Melanie Griffith, and House Delegation Chair Nick Charles, followed by Calvin Hawkins.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are so excited to be out here today. I expressed to the governor, first of all, that I felt like I just might burst wide open because we're so excited about today's announcements. And I also just want to always, as always, welcome the governor back home. I always take great pleasure in welcoming him here. And it is not just words, it really is, it's so great because we share a hometown, and I believe that we have been able to work like it. And so I want to thank him so much, not only for the amazing partnership that we've shared, but I just want to say about the governor, that it is rare, unfortunately, in public office that you find collaborative relationships where people actually listen to you. And I can tell you that the governor doesn't always agree with every idea that we have, but I certainly feel that we've been heard and that he has done everything he could to make sure that he helped us to realize the vision that we have here. And I'm just so grateful, Mr. Governor, for you and for your administration. I want to thank you for the partnership, as well as the members of our state delegation who are here present today, who did a yeoman's job in working during this legislative session to make sure that we brought back historic amounts of funding to our county, as well as our county council. I want to thank them also for the amazing victories that we have been able to secure on behalf of Prince Georgeans during this 2022 Maryland General Assembly. I am so proud to announce today that in fact we have brought home $2.5 billion in state aid. And in case you don't know why that makes me feel like bursting wide open, that is the largest single sum of state aid that we have ever secured in our county's history. So we are so proud to be able to bring home what we believe will be transformational economic growth and long-awaited entertainment and amenities for our residents. And I want to be clear about something. This did not happen by accident. In fact, I want to thank our delegation for going above and beyond for Prince Georgeans during this session. Now, at the beginning of the legislative session, and now I checked today, it was December 1st to be specific, my administration was able to meet with our delegation where we laid out several priorities that we would work toward during this legislative session, all of which would help us to secure a brighter future for Prince Georgeans during this time of rising opportunity. We've heard a lot about the pandemic. We've heard about what we lost, but what we now know is that we are in a time of great rising opportunity. And so I am proud to report back that during this time we have been able to deliver what we promised. We were successful in working with our delegation and the governor to deliver on many of the critical priorities that we set for Prince Georgeans, with investments in education, economic development, infrastructure, affordable housing, and health care. Our county has taken huge steps forward that we can all be Prince George's County proud of. Today, I want to highlight exactly what our administration has accomplished and how those accomplishments are going to help us all move forward together. On education, we secured a one-time $30 million grant that we can use towards construction on a school that has not previously received funding. I want to thank our newly appointed chair of House Appropriations, Delegate Ben Barnes, who is doing the next best thing other than standing out here today. He's actually called this morning. He's headed on spring break trip with his family to Great Wolf Lodge. I don't know whether I'm supposed to disclose that, but that sounds like a lot of fun. And so Delegate Barnes is there. I am also joined today by a super bad lady. Her name is Senator Melanie Griffiths, and I want to thank her for being here as well, who helped us to get this done. Additionally, our delegation worked hard to ensure that we received our full state allocation of the Kerwin funding. I want to thank the chair of our county council, Calvin Hawkins, for being present with us as well today, and thank him and our members of our council who helped us. These funds will be used to deliver on the promise of a better education under Kerwin and to continue this period of historic investment in our children's futures. Today, as we talk about our legislative accomplishments, we are standing, as you can see, at the Largo Metro Station along the Blue Line corridor, because thanks to the team between our administration, our delegation, and our governor, we have taken huge steps to make our administration's Blue Line corridor a vision of reality. For starters, we were able to include $20 million in the capital budget for infrastructure investments along the Blue Line corridor through the support of our delegation. This critical funding will go towards our overall plan, which includes a complete streets project on Central Avenue. This $16 million investment will make the Southern Avenue end of Central Avenue walkable, bikeable, and pedestrian friendly, providing new options for retail and housing all in one place. And at the same time, we're investing in public art installations, a parking study, and infrastructure improvements, which will continue to transform the corridor. We also secured another $4 million towards our Amphitheater Project that we're looking to locate along the Blue Line corridor. Now this amphitheater, I have to tell you, of all of the things we were able to secure, is one I think that not only makes me so happy, but it's long overdue for Prince Georgians. How many of us have seen, we've gone all over the state into Virginia and other places to hear live music, and so we are so grateful now to begin an amazing project here, the Amphitheater Project. And as I'm sure you know, last week we also stood with Governor Hogan and members of our delegation and council to announce a $67 million investment to bring a state-of-the-art cancer center to Prince George's County right here in Largo. Mr. Governor, we want to thank you so much again. What a huge, huge investment that is in the health and well-being of Prince Georgians. And today, I am likewise proud to stand with the governor and our delegation in celebration of the passage of House Bill 897. Which the governor signed into law just yesterday. Working together with the governor and our delegation, we have partners to make a historic investment in Prince George's County, as this bill authorizes up to $400 million in bonding authority through the Maryland Stadium Authority that will allow us to begin working on several transformative projects along this corridor, to include a cultural center and library, a sports field house, a large outdoor amphitheater, a market hall, and a civic plaza. For far too long, and I want everyone to hear us on this, the communities along the Blue Line corridor have been forgotten.
That's right.
We have seen other areas in our state secure these kinds of investments while we felt left out. But thanks to the team standing here, not anymore. In fact, this is the first time in Prince George's County that we have been able to benefit from the funds and expertise of the Maryland Stadium Authority, and we're looking forward to working with them. Thanks to the efforts of our delegation, we have also brought much needed resources to these communities. And again, thank you so much, Mr. Governor. We had a wonderful conversation, and again, there's just no way to make the point that this investment, so that we are clear, is for the communities around this area, around FedEx Field, who have been left behind. And the governor and I had a discussion and determined that we would not leave anybody behind in these communities. No matter what happens in that particular area, we are developing the communities around that area and making once-in-a-lifetime investments there. And so we're so proud of that. Now, we also had a great partner in the governor in a number of other areas. And I know that this is so special for the governor because he grew up in these areas. And today we stand here together, all of us as Prince Georgians, investing in those we serve and truly making a difference. And again, I want to say to this delegation who work night and day, thank you so very, very much for the hard work. We're now joined by Chair Nick Charles also. I want to thank him so much. And I think, okay, oh, you know what? So Senator Melanie Griffith will give comments in a moment. I thought that the other senator was going to be here. But none of this, again, would have been possible without the teamwork of everyone here today. And although some couldn't be with us, I also want to thank our presiding officers, Senate President Bill Ferguson and Speaker of the House Adrian Jones, who were also key partners in what we have accomplished. And so we certainly want to thank them also for their help and support. And even as we talk about the investments along the Blue Line corridor, our successes were not limited to this area. Delegate Barnes and Senator Griffith were instrumental in helping us secure $20 million as an allocation in the capital budget for a sports innovation center, which is a one-of-a-kind facility that leverages our county's history of generating professional athletes to promote our local economy while providing training and educational opportunity to residents. This facility will be coming to the South Lake development in Bowie. And I will be remiss if I didn't mention the $200 million total dollars pre-authorized in the state budget for FY24 and FY25 that can be used to go into the areas surrounding the new FBI headquarters. Now my talking points say should they ultimately choose, but I'm going to say when they ultimately choose to locate in Prince George's County in the state of Maryland. And I can't tell you how excited we are about the possibility of the FBI coming to Prince George's County. We have the highest percentage of federal workers living right here in our county, but the fewest numbers of federal jobs. The FBI would not only help create the equity we are seeking in terms of the regional balance of federal jobs, but it would also be transformative in terms of the jobs, the housing, and so much more that it would add to our county. As we invest in new economic development, we're also taking steps to make sure that housing remains affordable. And so I want to thank Governor Hogan for supporting our funding request in allocating $20 million for two of our key affordable housing programs, the Housing Investment Trust Fund, yes, and the Right of First Refusal Preservation Fund. Together, these programs help us both protect and expand affordable rental properties. These matching funds from the state will allow us to expand our Right of First Refusal Preservation Fund to include 3 more existing large rental complexes and our expanded Housing Investment Trust Fund, which will help create new affordable and mixed income rental and home ownership opportunities for our residents. And I want to thank Angie Rogers. We talk about super bad women, who is Deputy Chief Administrative Officer for Economic Development, and she is super bad. I also want to thank the governor for some key funding in the state's Consolidated Transportation Plan. The plan currently includes $3 million for planning and design for the Greenbelt Interchange and $9.5 million for planning and design for the Arena Drive Interchange. The Arena Drive Interchange is a critical key to unlocking all of the development potential along the Blue Line corridor. And I want to thank I think everyone can understand the importance of the work that we hope to continue doing in Greenbelt. Additionally, we have secured $5 million pre-authorized for FY24 for the Central Avenue Connector Trail. The trail promises to promote pedestrian access along our Blue Line, providing a scenic, safe route for walkers, runners, and bikers to use for exercise and to commute. As county executive, I am honored to help lead Prince George's County. It's important that our residents not only hear about the great things that we're working on, but that they see and feel the kind of transformative progress that will make life better for this beautiful place that we call home. Through this historic funding we have secured, our residents will see and feel the long-awaited entertainment and amenities that they deserve. I have nothing but gratitude for our delegation and our governor. We took our priorities to them and asked them for their support. They didn't hesitate to partner with us and helped us accomplish so much for Prince Georgians during this legislative session. 2022 will be remembered as a truly transformative year for our county and for the state. Because of our great teamwork, we were able to make progress on life-changing projects that will help make sure that rising opportunity in our county and region lifts all of us. Thank you, and now I'd like to turn the microphone over again and welcome home Governor Hogan.
Well, thank you very much. It is wonderful to be back home, and I love every time, I was here last week for the Cancer Moonshot Initiative. Every time I come, the county executive so graciously welcomes me back home, and that makes me feel great. This really is home. It's not just Prince George's is home, but I grew up in Landover Knolls, just off of 202, before I moved to Capitol Heights, right off Central Avenue, across from Jesus Saves Church, before later moving to Largo, right across from the PG Community College. So when I say come back home, this is my neighborhood, and it's great to be back home with everybody. I want to just thank the county executive for her incredible leadership. This really is her vision that brings us all together here today. I want to thank the members of the delegation, both in the Senate and in the House, and to thank the county council and everybody who's worked so hard to try to make this happen. I want to sincerely thank you, Madam County Executive, for the incredible partnership that we've had through the entire time that you've been county executive. I want to say you're doing a great job. I like the shout out about being a super bad woman. I want to say the county executive, Angela also Brooks, is also super bad. I shouldn't say this because I'll get in trouble, but my dad is a former county executive, and one of my best friends for many years was Wayne Curry. And I'll say I can't remember a better county executive than Angela also Brooks. Thank you so much for your But I just want to thank everybody standing up here and all the others that worked together on this shared commitment for the future of Prince George's County that we're here to talk about and highlight today. Yesterday, as the county executive mentioned, I was proud to sign into law a major investment to advance the Blue Line Corridor Project, which thank the folks standing up here for working together to get that done. But it's going to be a real game changer for Prince George's County. It's going to bring more jobs and more economic development to the neighborhoods right here where I grew up, where I spent most of my life. Just last week, we were here to break ground on that new cancer center, which is the first of its kind ever in Prince George's County. It's going to be a major thing to dramatically expand, all of our efforts to treat and prevent and detect and find a cure for cancer. And as not only a Prince Georgian and as governor, but as a cancer survivor, I was proud to help invest in that life-saving project. I'm just as excited to be here today to be helping to make the county executive and the team here's entire bold new vision for this area into a reality. With the initiative that we enacted yesterday, we're investing in the long-term future of these communities. We're making Prince George's County a hub for business, entertainment, culture, recreation, and education. And as the county executive discussed, this vision includes a new charter school, a library, a cultural center, an amphitheater, youth sports facilities, and a civic plaza, and so much more that's going to make a real difference in people's lives. And in addition to this exciting project, I'm going to go along with the county executive and say not if, but when the FBI headquarters comes here. We're making great progress on finally bringing that home. It's been a long time coming.
Yes.
7,500 jobs, in my opinion, are coming to Prince George's County, so we're going to make sure that gets done. The entire mission of our administration for 8 years now has been to try to change Maryland for the better by investing and revitalizing in the areas of our state that for far too long have been ignored and neglected. And so that we can leave our state in better shape for future generations. And a strong Maryland depends on a strong Prince George's County. And that's exactly the type of visionary, transformational project that this is, and that will help us achieve that mission. So I want to again congratulate County Executive Alston Brooks, the Prince George's County Council, the Prince George's delegation, and every single person who has been involved in trying to make this important announcement possible. So I'll say thank you, and with that, I'm going to turn it over to Senator Melanie Griffin, the President Pro Tem of the State Senate.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. If you can't tell, folks, we are so excited. We are ready to explode in Prince George's County. Madam County Executive, you are a dynamic, energetic, and tenacious leader, and you gave us a charge when we headed to Annapolis, and together, in partnership with our colleagues at municipal government, the county council, the federal government, we worked alongside our governor, and we made it happen. We heard you, and we delivered. Now, folks, when we started out back in the fall, the county executive mentioned a December meeting, but I remember she and I in a room back in October saying, if we go to Annapolis unapologetically united, we will be unstoppable and have amazing results. And Madam County Executive, we went to Annapolis, members of the House delegation, Senate delegation, county council, municipal leaders. We came to the governor with our ASK list together. We had our list of priorities. Your amazing team got together and worked with each and every member of the House and Senate delegation. And I want to shout out our Senate delegation Chair Joanne Benson, who's not able to be here, and Vice Chair Opie Patterson. They brought the 8 senators, and because Delegate Charles, there are only 8 of us, I'm going to go ahead and quickly read the 8 senators' names. Senator Benson, Senator Patterson, Penske, Rosapap, Augustine, Jackson, who is here, Watson. We worked together with our colleagues in the House and moved forward an agenda that brought us to this place today. The governor heard our united message, and he worked with Speaker Jones and President Ferguson. I'm just thinking of the unveiling that took place in the House the other day, acknowledging, and I do want to acknowledge Speaker Bush and President Miller, who have been a part of our journey to this point. So let's acknowledge them and say that those that followed in their footsteps, President Ferguson and Speaker Jones, took us to the next level by supporting Prince George's County and our agenda and our initiative. This dynamic team brought back the largest amount of state aid in our history. We didn't talk tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions. The county executive used billions with the letter B. We are so excited to have delivered this kind of win for Prince George's County. We're creating jobs, boosting our economy. Governor, we're protecting the state's most vulnerable with the budget we just adopted. We're working together to advance health care outcomes and improve access to the highest quality of education for our students. If we look excited, it's because we are. We are unapologetically united, and we are Prince George's proud. We are awesome, and we thank you so much for all that each and every member has done. It is my pleasure to bring to the podium the newest but hardest working chair, and I can say that because I was one, of the Prince George's House delegation. We got our money's worth out of him. Put your hands together for Delegate Nick Charles, Chairman of the House delegation.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. A lot of folks have come up here and talked about the great things that have been accomplished during this legislative session, but none of this would not have been done without the work of teamwork. Yes. That's a very important word, teamwork. It took the Senate, it took the House, it took the county executive, it took the governor, it took everybody to come to the table to make sure that we push Prince George's County to the next level. For far too long, we've sat back and watched the communities along the Blue Line corridor be neglected for years. And now we are at the place in history where we have put significant resources behind making these changes. I remember years ago when I came back home from the military and I watched all of these developments in DC around the Washington metro stations and looked at what they were doing in DC and said, man, I wish we could do that right here in Prince George's County. And I know that's been a plan for a lot of folks that came before me, but for us to actually take this charge and move it into right now, it took teamwork. I want to make sure I thank the 24th District team, because a lot of this Blue Line corridor is going directly through their community. And when I tell you that these folks were in there fighting hard, come on. The District 24 team, they stepped up. The Prince George's County delegation stepped up. I want to thank everyone for showing up. Let's go. Let's make Prince George's County proud, and thank you all for being here today. And I'd like to bring up my good friend,
my good friend, the chair of Prince George's County Council. Come on, my brother, Calvin Hawkins.
Thank you, Nick Charles, for those kind words. Good afternoon, but let me begin with an enthusiastic thank you to our team leader, our closer, the county executive, Angela Alsabrook. She came before the county council and said, if we work together with our state delegation and our municipal leaders, we can change Prince George's County. It took 11 members of the council to believe this one individual, if we worked and collaborated with her along with our state senators and our House of Delegates, that we could do this. And thank you, County Executive, for ensuring that the vision you had became a reality. But there's a native son that had to have the final say on what happened here today. Governor, thank you for not forgetting about those of us who live here. You have responsibility for this entire state, but you knew in your final year, working with the one you know and I know as the closer, our county executive, y'all came to an understanding working with our senators and our delegates to make this thing a reality. And I just want to say, today we at Prince George is proud because we understood working with our county executive, our municipal leaders, as well as our Senate and House delegation, that we could get this done. County executive, through teamwork, partnership, and collaboration, we are Prince George's proud today. And on behalf of the county council, all of you standing up here, and to your colleagues who could not be here, would you please express to them that our county council are grateful because we have the opportunity to work with each and every one of you. Governor, as you leave here and return to Annapolis, know that we are Prince George's proud because our native son stepped up beyond measure. We have the most money that we have ever received from any delegation. You mentioned the great Mike Miller, God bless his soul. But you and this delegation got it done, and we are grateful to all of you.
All right, and with that, we'll open it up for some questions.
Governor, as I'm sure you know, the head of the House Oversight Committee yesterday sent a letter to the head of the FTC asking them to look into possible criminal activities by the Washington Commanders in regards to not refunding nearly $5 million in seat licenses. The reaction to that, does this complicate the state's efforts to retain the team here in Prince George's County?
Well, look, I don't know a lot of the details. Obviously, I'm very concerned about the reports that we're hearing out of Congress about some of the potential wrongdoings, but I don't know a lot of the details, and I'm not sure it has a whole lot to do with what we're announcing here today, because none of this money has much to do with that stadium. It has to do with rebuilding these communities. And I think the Redskins or the Washington football team or the Commanders or whatever you want to call them have been in negotiations with us for 8 years about staying or leaving, and they still have a lease until 2027. I'm not sure who's going to own the team or what the status of the team or the name of the team is going to be, but we'd love to see them stay in Prince George's County. But this is not what this announcement is about today.
Governor, County Executive,
Brad, go ahead.
both of you, I'd like to, there was no mention of the team in your prepared remarks. Previously, a lot of this blue line was discussed about creating an environment that would be attractive to this football team. Where do things stand, and would it be easier to move forward if there was a different owner? Is what's going on now complicating things?
I mean, as I've said all along, I don't know. I couldn't have been any more clear when I said we're not building a stadium for that team. I said good luck if they wanted to go to Virginia. Angela Alsabrook and I came together and said we're going to do a lot to redevelop this community with or without that football team, and that's exactly what we've done here today. So there's a lot of speculation in the media about that, but I've had no discussions with them about doing any of this to help them.
But they're still the second largest taxpayer in the county, I believe, right?
So you used some words that I want to just give back to you, Brad. You said create the kind of environment for the team, and the thing that I actually just kind of want to respectfully correct is that we want to create the kind of environment for Prince Georgians to thrive, and we believe that happens whether the Commanders are here or not. We are developing around the Blue Line Corridor for the people of Prince George's County, and we actually think this is not only in the best interest of our community, but it's also a place that I think the Commanders ought to jump on in and try to take advantage of the great opportunities that are here for them to also have their team and their facilities here. But we ultimately think whatever is best for our residents will be best for business. And so the announcements that we're making today, and we're doing it in a really clear fashion, is that we are concentrating and focusing on the people who are here, their amenities, entertainment, sports opportunities, all the things that we have not had heretofore. We're developing around the Blue Line Corridor for them, and believe it or not, that will create the kind of environment that makes it, I think, a terrific investment for the Commanders. We want them here, but more than anything, we want Prince Georgians to thrive.
Well, Madam County Executive, if not the Commanders, then how does this plan envision without the Commanders or a stadium? We understand this is from Southern Avenue all the way to here, but without a stadium as a terminus, what would it be?
Well, that's the whole point, is that this really should not revolve around football. It revolves instead around, you're right, we're close to the hospital. We're talking about a library. We're talking about an amphitheater. We're talking about a cultural center. We're talking about a hall for our residents, and so a school. So we have so many amenities that are needed here. And so, we want the Commanders to be here, but we believe that there are still so many other economic opportunities that we're interested in seeing come along this corridor that has been forgotten heretofore, that should attract to us restaurants, hotels. We want all of these amenities, bikeable, walkable spaces, just a beautiful buildup for the people who are here.
Madam County Executive, could you or anyone 24 district team, what have you heard from residents about this portal project?
Well, thank you, Will, for your question. What the residents who live around and along the Blue Line Corridor want is investment. And I want to thank our closer, as we keep saying, and our governor, and the entire team for making sure that investment happened. I believe that there was a question about the team. 30 years ago when the team came, there were a lot of promises to the people who live around the stadium. I appreciate the delegation we have because they made sure that regardless if the team stays or leaves, the investment that was owed to the community will be delivered. And I think that's what's most important. Thank you.
Go ahead, Darcy.
Yeah, not to belabor the point about the Commanders, but just a follow-up question when we're talking about restaurants and entertainment and other destinations. To not have the team here, what is the likelihood of those commercial entities to want to continue to come here and do this build out without that piece of it?
I'm going to jump on that first and say we have a phenomenal, the county executive introduced her earlier, but we have a phenomenal team and a phenomenal leader in terms of economic development in Angie Rogers. She came to Annapolis. She worked with the House and the Senate, with the budget committees, with our presiding officers, along with the closer, to make sure that we were able to persuade them, as we are persuaded, that Prince George's County wants and will support the arts. We want and will support entertainment. We want and will support retail. We will support restaurants. We will support commercial activity. We want jobs here. We deserve jobs here, and we will not wait any longer. We are unapologetic in our call for those entities to allow us to spend our dollars at home. We're ready to spend our money in Prince George's County and put our children and grandchildren, nieces and nephews and neighbors to work. So we're going to get it done.
Right. Very cool. All right, you have a last question?
Well, I'll take another stab at it. Madam County Executive, look, I've been at this long enough to be through a whole bunch of different efforts to win teams here and there in different parts of Maryland. And generally, political leaders are fairly aggressive. Would you be speaking differently today? I know you're being aggressive and trying to keep the team. If Mr. Snyder was not in the sights of this congressional committee right now, if these issues were not going on, would it be easier for you to battle to keep this team?
We're not kidding. I think, I just want to say it again because you're asking again. Today really isn't about the Commanders. We're not kidding. Today really is not about the Commanders. The investments that we have made around this area is about the people who are here. And, so whatever the allegations are, and again, I agree with the governor. I don't even know specifically what they are. I don't have the details, but today, no kidding, is not about the Commanders. I know it feels like that's what we should be talking about, but in our estimation, we have made an affirmative decision that we're talking about the people who are here. And to Delegate Jazz Lewis's point, we've been promised for 30 years. I hear from residents every day. They want to know where the opportunities are. As Senator Griffith said, where are the arts? Where are the restaurants? Where are the opportunities for us to entertain ourselves? We're tired of leaving our own county, taking our precious dollars elsewhere and not having those things here. And so that's the reason we're so appreciative that the governor saw it our way and said that we deserve all of those amenities. We're worth it. And so we're making those commitments. Those dollars are going to our community. And again, I think, I recommend to the Commanders that they come here. I do. I recommend it, but whether they come or not, we're going to develop our community.
Thank you, everyone.